Good afternoon, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we are going to talk about Summer Elsirelle. Her stats were released on WoTV-Calc. We're going to talk about whether she's going to be viable, whether or not she's going to be good in the long term. Let's go ahead and dig in. Now, we did talk a little bit about this on stream last night with Umbra, and it seems like she might be a little bit underwhelming. Her TMR is just going to have the standard AoE heal with, magic 35, defense 10. Pretty interesting, but nothing, game breaking. Her mastery ability is only really going to give her fire resistance 10%, which, let's be honest, if you're going up against a fire unit with her anyway, you don't really need that. Taking a look at her stats, one of the things I was really concerned about is slash resistance and magic resistance, and it turns out she has no slash resistance, and she is actually weak to magical attacks by 5%. She does have 15% pierce resistance, 5% blunt resistance, and 10% missile resistance, but really that lacking of magic resistance and slash resistance is going to cause a problem for her. She does have 14 defense native in her kit and 2 spirit native in her kit, but I still think there's going to be a fundamental problem with her surviving in this world of Black Rose Helena and Dwayne, where, she is most likely going to get one shot. She does have about 3,600 HP. Umbra has seen, when we were talking, the max leveled Bikini Elsirelles already, and he said they were sitting around 6k HP. And honestly, I still feel like that's within one-shot territory of Dwayne. Now, granted, the defense is pretty high, and she is going to have access to some defensive passives, but for her to really be powerful, she's going to have to survive 1 hit, potentially 2 hits, in order to kind of geo-absorb health back and become, really more viable. What's interesting about her is definitely her limit break, and I will be curious if her limit break is going to synergize really well with Aerith, because Aerith also has the Ray of the Ancients, which will decrease AP when it hits the opponent. And her limit break is going to decrease AP 20 for targets that she hits as well. So it could be potentially maybe some water synergy here in the future. One of the other things that's interesting is her upgraded ability, her absorb HP blunt attack is going to get upgraded so that it reduces counter chance by 100. Again, really unique, really powerful, something we haven't really seen before, but is it going to be, game changing, game breaking? At this point, I feel like the only counter that is really, been meta defining has been Yuna's counter, and we aren't seeing as much of Yuna anymore as we used to. Her passives, pretty much, the standard, you get the Scholar's Knowledge for the defense 12, Paladin's Blessing for the defense 12. So if you really wanted to, you could set like 24 defense on her passives with some HP up. She's going to get the activation time down upgraded. So it's going to give her Spirit Penetration 40, which is great and powerful, but it still, I feel like, might not be enough to make her survivable, right? It's not going to be enough to, outmatch the fact that she's going to get one shot, most likely. Increased magic 30% and Spirit 12, fire resistance 12% as well. She has counter logos for basically counter magic damage. Paladin Guard is probably what you would be setting on her. You're gonna hope that she can survive some type of a physical attack and be able to counter with her drain HP move. She does have some buffs that give her defense 15 as well. She has the Watercolors ability, which I think is one of the best abilities in the game, especially on Luelle, for example, where it buffs Earth attack significantly, and this will buff water attack by 25, single target resistance 15, evocation gauge 60. So I think that's one of the best buffs in the game, paired with one of the best attacks in the game. But if she can't survive, if she, is going to get one shot by Black Rose Helena, one shot by Dwayne, it doesn't matter if you are able to buff your opponents. It doesn't matter, if you're able to drain enemy HP, because you are still dead. She does get an interesting job level 25 ability, Armor and Shield Law, which reduces the physical damage taken 30% for 3 times to self. It also grants Protect on her as well. And again, with the wildness that is Black Rose Helena everywhere, I don't see this being fully viable. And with the idea, you know, just thinking long term of, you know, all the lightning units that are coming out and the lack of fire units that are coming out on global. As far as we know, Minwoo is the only fire unit for the next 4 months that's going to be coming out. So being able to use Bikini Elsirelle as an element type advantage unit is pretty much like out the window, right? Unless we get Dress Up Glaciella, you know, and even then Dress Up Glaciella was not that popular on the JP side. It just really, I don't see it happening for her right now, especially with Cloud coming out, especially with Vilne coming out, potentially Thunder God EX. We already have Charlotte right now, who's kind of like waiting for her place to show up. So again, I just am cautious that this is definitely an easy pass for all of you who are playing or planning on waiting for Final Fantasy VII Remake to come out, because yeah, you're all waiting on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sub Paladin, probably going to be best for her because she does have access to Immortal Spirit on there. You know, it's also one of those situations where she has so many good buffs that the question is, will she use them in the right order, or will she not use Immortal Spirit if she's going to buff with her water attack ups, or are you going to have to turn that off in order for it to be optimal and good for her? Lots of questions there regarding, you know, what her buff priority is going to be, because I think her buff priority would be Water Collars first and then Immortal Spirit, or potentially even Law of Celerity and Water Collars first, which could really screw things up in terms of like, oh, now all of a sudden you're in front of a Black Rose Helena that's killing you, or Dwayne that's killing you, and you know, you don't have, you know, Mortal Spirit up or whatever it is. So could be potentially problematic. Sentinel could still be good though. If you could actually accurately make her use Sentinel to survive attacks. I could see a situation where maybe you turn off Immortal Spirit and, you know, which is crazy. I know it's crazy to think that you would turn off Immortal Spirit, but turn off Immortal Spirit, run forward. She uses Sentinel because she's in range of enemies to attack her. And, you know, what'll happen is she'll get attacked and then she can use Geo Absorption to drain that HP back. And with the Spirit up 45, she could probably survive a Black Rose Helena attack as well. So lots to consider here in terms of how you could execute it. Other than that, Sub-Kododama Wielder is Sub-Kododama Wielder. I feel like we're getting a lot of Sub-Kododama Wielders right now. And Sub-Kododama is always been okay. It's never been bad. I feel like it's one of those subs that's like, okay, they got Sub-Kododama. Like it's not gonna blow everything out of the water. It's not gonna make her an incredible unit. But it is going to be pretty powerful. One of the other things I want to talk about too, while we are talking about her, is the difference between espers and that are available in global versus JP right now. So on JP they have 3-star water espers, so you are going to have more diversity in terms of what you are actually putting on Summer Elsirelle, whereas in global we only have Kraken 3-star right now. So, you know, Kraken would not even be probably the best esper to put on her. You would probably end up putting Bahamut on her, and then the question is, what are you putting on your other? You know, are you just going to be putting other things, like if you're running more as well? So you're putting Bahamut on Summer Elsirelle, what are you going to put on more, or what are you going to put on Aerith? There's lots of questions of like, is there powerful enough resources for your entire team to be very powerful? The other thing to talk about, and pulling up the water vision cards here, is that the water vision cards, you know, we have Winter Holiday Party and we have Guidance from the Stars that are both really powerful magic water vision cards. Outside of that, there is no powerful magic water vision card. You have Siren, which is okay, it will work. Siren's going to be great against, you know, a fire element composition because she gives that fire resistance up as well, but she's not like a amazing, you know, Bikini Elsirelle specific vision card or a water element, you know, magic buffing vision card. So I do think there is some lack of vision card options for water magic compositions, and I do think that's important to consider too. It feels like we're getting Bikini Elsirelle right now, and she's not going to be good, but maybe one day in the future she could be part of a composition that is really powerful. Maybe when like Oberon is, you know, in the meta and Pierce is happening, or when like Kane is around, you know, stuff like that. Right now it's very like is how I would describe it, and I'm just gonna wait. And I think I probably will pull tonight and pull to get her, but I'm not gonna rush to EX her to 120. I'm just going to casually max out her shards, and we're gonna go ahead and leave it at that. Anyway, everybody, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you on stream this evening.